The cognitive behavior framework offers useful techniques for self-management when psychological barriers to activities are encountered. It addresses thoughts, emotions, and/or behaviors that inhibit occupational performance. It is especially effective in helping with issues of motivation and emotion, and is most often used in behavioral settings. The development of this frame occurred over time in three waves. The first wave reveals how this frame stems from a behaviorism origin. The second wave is when cognition became considered a behavior that could be measured. Finally, the third wave dramatically changed the nature of cognitive therapies by widening its scope. Now it would focus on the entire range of valued life activities in addition to target problem behaviors. Three important theorists helped develop this frame. Albert Bandura's theory of social learning and behaviorism bridged behavior modification to cognitive behavior. Aaron Beck was the theorist who coined the term and developed the ABC method. Albert Ellis expanded Beck's method to include cognitive restructuring. Together, their theories allow for reframing of the problem in order to find a different perspective.
Function and dysfunction. Function is the ability to use cognitive processes to reason, test hypotheses, and develop self-awareness. One is able to manage their own thoughts, feelings, and behaviors. An individual can also cope with stress, manage their time, and balance life roles and occupations. Dysfunction is the presence of maladaptive thoughts and behaviors. Maladaptive thoughts can include negative beliefs, such as one saying to themselves, "I'm incompetent" or "I'm helpless." These thoughts are sometimes formed as a means to protect us from any circumstance that may be triggering or traumatic, such as the loss of a loved one. Maladaptive behavior can range from less impairing behaviors such as nail biting to severely impairing behaviors such as self-harm. The intended use of these actions is to try and relieve and avoid stress. However, the relief is only temporary. It can interfere with an individual's ability to adapt, adjust, and participate in various aspects of their life.
Alright, so change in motivation. CBT can bring about change on how your fear of social situations can become worse with every bad experience. With that being said, CBT aims to teach people that it is possible to have control over your thoughts, feelings, and behaviors. This helps you challenge and overcome automatic beliefs and use practical strategies to change your or modify behaviors. As for motivation, clients are motivated by both internal and external reinforcements. Their motivation works best with personal satisfaction, comes with mastery, achievement of occupational goals. There are many techniques derived from CBT that can be useful in OT for helping clients to manage their anxiety and emotions to remove barriers caused by negative thinking, such as relaxing, which is deep breathing, thought stopping, saying stop, or visualization, an image that is calming like water flow or puppies.
All right, so our client Mateo is a 13-year-old Hispanic male who is currently living in the city of Anaheim, California. Recently, his parents have gone through a divorce and has put him in an uncomfortable state because he is witnessing his parents argue and fight a lot more. They've always struggled to help him manage his condition of OCD, but Mateo has been now thinking a lot of negative thoughts and blaming his OCD for the reason his parents getting divorced. So he is, in that uncomfortable state and just low state as well because he is just really sad. Not only that he has lost his parents, but he always is seeing them argue now, and it's hard for him to, think positive and think that everything that has happened isn't his fault. But because he is experiencing OCD symptoms, his cognitions, emotions, daily functioning, and behaviors have all been, affected and impaired because of them. Um, his parents have always stated too that it takes him a long time to get ready for school. Typically, they'd say it takes 30 minutes to an hour to get ready because he always is dumping out his backpack to make sure that his school supplies is all there, and he's double checking his homework, and he puts everything away like in a certain way, but he will take a lot of like chances that he gets just to make sure everything's there, and he'll dump his backpack out, like I said, multiple times just to make sure and to confirm that everything is right and everything is there, and it does affect like his functioning to get ready for school. So the time to complete tasks have increased, and his behaviors have been a little bit more upsetting in the eyes of his parents because he is experiencing a lot more stress and anxiety. He currently attends Valencia Canyon Middle School, but he does not like to socialize with classmates, and he's always constantly asking his teacher for reassurance if everything he's doing is being done correctly. He will be the last one to leave class as the teacher has informed his parents because he's always constantly checking, like if his papers are there, if he turned in his work, if like the pencil that he is using is in the right pocket, he put it in. But he is above average in terms of his class because he's getting tutoring from his school. But it ties into that he needs that constant reassurance that whatever he is doing is right. For hobbies, him and his dad love baseball. So he does play baseball and he does collect video games and Pokemon cards. But with his OCD, his collection has gone a little bit out of hand in terms of like how he stores his cards, how he must display them, and like with his OCD, everything has to be put in a proper place. So it does kind of affect him from concentrating in school. It's a constant distraction because even though he loves these things and he's passionate about them, it can kind of impair his functioning in terms of helping around the house and doing schoolwork. Strategies, we're going to use primarily three of them: exposure therapy, habit reversal training, and cognitive therapy. So basically, exposure therapy, sorry, is the client's going to be put in situations where they're exposed to their obsessions and compulsions, and we need to teach them not to act on those compulsions. So that way, it will help reduce anxiety and distress you maybe having. So we could either use like his Pokemon cards or his school supplies as examples. We can put them in the ways that might make him like uncomfortable, and instead of acting on that compulsion to put them away and uh, put them away and just like put them in the way that he wants, like whether it be like the Pokemon cards, he puts them in card sleeves, or his pencils in a specific like little pencil box. We need to teach him like not to immediately act on that compulsion, so that way he's getting trained to do it in a more manageable way that's not going to take a lot of time and to reduce anxiety. For habit reversal training, basically it's about positive reinforcement and relaxation techniques. Because he is experiencing that, or he is going through that divorce with his parents, he has picked up a lot of like hair pulling, skin picking. I think just because he is so upset about it, and with like the OCD he's experiencing, um, he will just have a hard time focusing, and just that sensation that he gets from what he says helps him, calm down. But in reality, it's kind of doing harm to his body. So with this training, we could have him sit in front of a mirror and focus on the sensations that he wants to, do like skin picking. But we need to have him not act in that compulsion and intervene with that obsession that he may be having, and probably think of something else that could distract him, such as a fidget toy or a stress ball, instead of him picking his skin. Doing that will help him increase his awareness of what the compulsions are and how they develop, and we can use this to help just basically increase his awareness as to stop that and intervene with his compulsion. With cognitive therapy, we're having the client recognize the error messages being sent to his brain or negative thoughts, to put it, and with that, we're gonna help him control his obsessions and compulsions. So if he experiences like a negative thought, for example, like he's the reason why his parents got divorced, we're gonna help him break down that negative thought and think of it in a more realistic manner. So we have him break it down, for example, and say, you know, why they have might have gone divorced. It can't be because of me because, in reality, my parents love me and they just want the best for me. And, my condition, even though it has affected my functioning in life, my parents are there just to help me. And instead of thinking of his OCD as the reason why his parents might have gone divorced, we want to think about it in a more thoughts, for example, in a more realistic manner. So we kind of have help train them in a way to, you know, not everything has to be seen as negative, and it could really be seen as a more realistic way.